final spot in the grand final to determine who will be our first European Siege Major winners in a long time. Who's it going to be? Who do we think? I'm going to make sure that the teams are 100% ready as we get set up here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, a rematch of the Copa Elite 6 finals. Please welcome to the stage. This is their big moment. It's W7M! This team in the group stages were described as absolutely terrifying. A roster that every opposition that comes their way looks to run a mile from, except for their opponents, looking to make history here in Berlin. Do they have what it takes to become the first ever two-time major winners? Give it up for FaZe Clan! Now this team truly believes that they can do something that no other team has ever done. Players in this roster that many describe as the best in the world. A semi-final that should deliver on every piece of hype that it promises. But before we get them up here onto the stage to shake hands, it's time for the face-off.
Bom, a FaZe, a gente tá com eles engasgados na garganta, então vai ser uma revanche e tanto. Bom, FaZe, a gente tá se sentindo em casa aqui em Berlim, então tenho certeza que a gente não vai sentir os próximos games contra vocês, então se prepara que a revanche vem forte.
W7M, they have a really good play style, and we have to stop all of them at the same time. Like, we have to play the best Siege. Hey W7M, I know you guys are sad that you lost the Copa Elite 6 finals, but don't worry, you're gonna lose it again.
Which of our two teams will book their place in the grand final to face off against Rogue? Will it be W7M or will it be FaZe Clan? Please shake hands, take your seats, and get ready. Lots of players that we know can handle the pressure here, Milos. This is a big stage, a big moment for both of them. Who will take it?
I need someone that can help me out here on the desk. We got experts. Ian, you're beautiful. Thank you very much, my friend. We are back in the analyst desk. Thank you so much for joining us at the 6th Major Berlin. I'm Milos Dometic, your host. With me is a fresh pair of equally fantastic analysts, ones that can take as hard of an L as it just went down. It's Fresh and Pengu. Welcome back. Welcome back, Trader, also coming in from NA. Also, what is this? Welcome back to the good region.
Thank you.
You've taken half an L today and half a W, right?
Yeah, I have.
You're from EU, but you live in NA, so you was the real winner.
I'm kind of torn, but the thing is, I'm a little bit Rogue biased because I love, Kenta Raketti. Of course, you got new points. So I gotta say, I'm happy Rogue won. Also, if you're in Europe, you gotta have a EU team in the final.
Oh, you have to.
Yeah, and let's be honest, I watch Rogue for the plot.
Yeah, I know what I mean.
All right. Well, let's talk about our upcoming matchup. It's all LATAM, all Brazil for this game. It's happened 1,000,001 times in Brazil, but we all know BR versus BR in Brazil is not the same as what it is here when you're on land internationally with all that entails. W7M versus FaZe. Let's talk first about the general story of this, because there is no bigger comparison than the old guard of FaZe that have been around since time immemorial, and W7M that realistically get their first ever experience here. The young gunners, the young kids that can do so much. They can be the FaZe of the future. They can make their own names. but they have to take down some people that they looked up to not long ago. So let's talk first about W7M Fresh.
Well, like you said, Milos, they're the new kids on the block. They're another part of this kind of movement of Latin American teams that are coming to disrupt the establishment. Them, Furia, there's a few of these teams that are coming through. And they've been absolutely wiping the floor domestically with Latin America. Obviously, Charlotte didn't go obviously as planned. They had to play from Mexico. It didn't go great. And I had a little bit of concern about W7M. I had a concern about their temperament and about how they were going to deal with things in terms of actually coming to this event. Because in Charlotte, their temperament, and they were angry. I get they were angry. But I was like, how are they going to deal with this event and everything that it entails? They've done it fantastically. They've just looked like they keep going from strength to strength to strength.
Not just that, but even during Charlotte Major, a lot of teams at the event that go to Skimden or play them on stage, or in group stage rather, would say, these guys might not be here, but they are the strongest, or one of the strongest teams that we played against at this tournament, and that was them playing at 60%. And you mentioned they're wiping the floor domestically. They're taking the team like Liquid spot at this event, and future events possibly, and they have only really been in the scene for like 6 to 9 months. They're almost as big of a name as FaZe at this point.
And technically, both of these teams took the spot away from Liquid, if you're accounting for that last game day also, which is incredible, Liquid versus FaZe. After the tournament, go back and watch that in BR6. But now looking at FaZe Clan, you know so much about this team. Cameraman, that's kind of the one out there that we've known for so long, Pengu. Can this team make it today and make it to yet another grand final? They've had one not even a year ago.
I was going to say, I mean, they have had recent success, and they've had success in the past. Sure, they haven't won many events internationally, but they've been in grand finals before. Cameraman, Astro, they go so far back in time. I want to see them do it again. But I wouldn't be unhappy if a new squad were to do it, because honestly, there's something exciting about new dynasties. I hate that word. Let's not do it. No. I take it back. There's something wonderful about new storylines in this space.
Team next.
Oh, no. Next, they'll be coming out with a video. We're building a dynasty. No,
storylines, not dynasties.
What I will say about FaZe is that it's the experience that gets them through. Even if you look at their game yesterday, it was a real slogfest, and they basically relied on the fact that they had experience in these big moments, in these big games against massive opposition. That's what got them through.
All right, let's take a look at our map bans for this series and get really into the nitty-gritty of all of this. We got 9-map pool. We're going to see quite a few of those go away, 6 in total. Ban, and then we go Oregon Kafe. Oregon picked up by W7M, Kafe by FaZe Clan, and Villa are decider. Now, just to preface all of this, we'll talk about it in generalities, but we'll go back to Oregon in a second, which is the bread and butter of the region, has been for forever. Before LATAM was a region in competitive play. But overall, Jack, do you see anything, numbers, when you look at the macro of the maps?
I am very massively surprised by FaZe's map pick. Because the reason being is that W7M have a 6-map pool. They don't play Theme Park, they don't play Bank, they don't play Skyscraper. It's something that FaZe used in the Copa Elite 6 final to actually pick a Bank before, because you can only ban away 2 in the best of 3. So W7M, they banned 2 away. FaZe they banned Bank and Theme Park. FaZe had an opportunity to pick into Skyscraper, where they looked so good yesterday, and they didn't. They went away from that. So they're not going to play a weak map for for W7M.
It is surprising because they look great on Skyscraper. Didn't want to go there. And they looked okay, if not good, on Kafe as well yesterday against Furious, 7-4 victory. But they're willing to go there. So I'm curious if they know something that we don't, because these two teams play each other so often domestically that they know each other in and out like no one else.
Well, what if we talk about Oregon in this case and kind of factor in how the play styles between these two kind of shows up? And in general, do you see any differences between the two squads? Because we said FaZe Clan, the old guard, W7M on the other side, the new kids on the block. Is this reflected in games as well?
Honestly, when we talk about Oregon, I feel like it's quite a simple map, as we always say, right? There's a few ways to attack, few ways to defend. FaZe Clan, they rely on these like niche operators, the Ying, the Nurk, the Gridlock, the Amaru, the Capital, etc. I feel like unless they're going to go absolutely crazy in Oregon, they don't have as much freedom to do those things. Whereas W7M, they rely on consistency and good fundamentals. Whether it's droning, knowing when to play aggressive, knowing when to play passive, having disciplined those 2v1 scenarios, I can see Oregon heavily or somewhat favoring W7M.
Yeah, I think so too. If you look at FaZe as well, they've been pretty inconsistent on Oregon through the Latin American Stage 1, Stage 2. They've played it, and they've had wins and losses. Crucially, in the group stages, they won 7-4 going up against Sonics, and then got 0-7 on this map in terms of FaZe. So it's kind of, it's a polarizing map, whereas W7M, this is the map that they've held back. They've held it back, chose to not play it as often as they could. The last time they actually played it was in groups at the Charlotte Major. So the whole stage, they've not played Oregon to bring it out right now.
Is that a surprise, given how often you get to see the map in competitive play?
Arguably, yes, right? It is, I feel like Oregon is a map that if you made a team tomorrow, you would start with Oregon because anyone can really play it, right? Play it in rank, play it in scrims, play it in Pro League, etc. You're not going to be as good at it, of course, but it is a more linear map than others.
And we said this the same thing about, it kind of gives the same vibes as yesterday when G2 picked Clubhouse. If you've been saving a map that's Oregon Clubhouse, every man and their dog know how to play Oregon and Clubhouse. So it's not necessarily a map that I would be hiding away. I wouldn't be rushing to hide it away.
All right, then what are we expecting for this? Because a lot of teams end up churtling incredibly hard if they're not sure how to run in Oregon. And if you're against an experienced team like FaZe, they'll know how to break that sort of bunker defense every single time. You got so many ways to bunker bust. But will it be more fluid of an Oregon, you think?
If I was in the zero right now, waiting to boot up, I would say to my teammates, guys, these guys are going to roam, they're going to be dynamic, they're going to be aggressive. We need to expect spawn peaks, we got to take it slow and try to find those opening kills, play the 5v4 advantage.
And that's the big thing to watch out. And it's for both of these teams. We said it yesterday about FaZe, but we've also said the same thing about W7M, is how dynamic they are as teams. The pacing of the round, suddenly there'll be an explosive round, then there'll be a nice slow, what almost looks like a European default round, where it goes down to a kind of 30, 40 seconds to go, and you're like, we don't know who's going to win this. And then it'll go fast again. They really do vary up the pacings, both of these teams, which is why LATAM kind of stylistically is such a fun region to watch.
What are players to look out for from both of these squads that really have to show up today?
All right,
W7M first.
Overall, I feel like Kafe and W7M has been just absolutely monumental in some of these rounds, some of these matchups. And in general, relatively consistent player as well. I also feel like statistically for W7M, it's hard to look at them and go, he had a great game, he had a bad game, because it really is everyone gets a turn at some point for them.
W7M are one of those teams where there's only the quote-unquote hard support player, the Fairmite smoke player at GDN. He's the only one that's actually going negative for them. It's not about anybody stepping up because they all just do their job and that 20% more, and that's their real strength.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. It's time for us to kick off our game. It's all LATAM, all Brazil, W7M versus FaZe Clan. There's no break for this one. We're getting straight into the action. We got a great game. We got great casters, too. It's Steph, Marta, and Mandy. Enjoy.
Woo! Thank you, Gassan. It is time to determine who are the kings of Brazil. One of these teams are going to the final. Is it the old? Is it the major champions of FaZe Clan looking for a repeat? Or is it the young gunners at W7M ready to show us what they're worth? Are you feeling ready?
Yeah, I am. I'm feeling real excited. And for all those at home, whether it's day, whether it's night for you as well, I hope that you're joining us on this wild ride.
It has been quite the campaign for W7M on your screens right now. You can see they are ready to go. FaZe Clan, of course, coming from the November major last year in Sweden. They tasted victory, and they're looking to do so again here. Let's kick it off on Oregon. It is time to get into our final semi-final.
It's all LATAM now. Oregon picked for W7M, but can they deliver against FaZe?
Well, let's get stuck into it. To kick us off, it is W7M's map pick of Oregon. W7M know what it's like to play Oregon. Haven't played a lot of Oregon recently, so this is going to be a bit of a fresh one. Bit of a fresh opportunity. The thinker ban. Gotta respect that.
Everybody liked that. The think ban, of course, to come out. Taking out KZ's pick of choice, typically on the attack. Another one to follow through.
Hey! Not quite as much hype behind the Ying. We have seen a lot of Ying play. These executes have been chaotic. And these teams, they are pure chaos. W7M, what are they going to follow up with? Bit of a Valkyrie.
Some interesting bans coming out. The attack, Thatcher being left in, all your hard breach as well.
Is Mira going to make it through? She will. It is the Kaid ban. So Thatcher perhaps not quite so necessary.
Although Azami's been left in for the defense as well.
Ooh.
Lots of interesting operators being left in for both halves here. We've got all of your anti-wall denial on the side of the attack. We've got your Maverick. We've got your hard breach on the side of the defense as well. We've got the Azami alongside the Mirror. All your site construction. There's everything on the cards currently for both these teams.
FaZe taking us downstairs to kick it off. This has been a stronghold on the defensive side. But W7M, they know what it's like to push themselves further than anyone thought possible. W7M have been fighting all year long to carve their names in history, to elevate themselves to the level of these Brazilian teams like FaZe Clan, like Team Liquid, like Ninjas in Pajamas, like Team One. Major champions of the past, 6 invitational champions, Pro League champions. W7M are on the outside looking in, but for a shot at their very first major final, they must take down their hometown rivals.
FaZe starting us out on this basement bomb site, looking for a roam through the ground floor. Cyber and Bullet holding on to small tower. Looking for any early entries on this side of the map, but not to be met by anyone. A push from W7M starting over on this lobby side.
Oh, nice attempt there on a spawn peek. Oh, what is that? Immediately traded. And this is pure chaos. FaZe Clan win out the early trades.
JV now making his way through the green hallway, starting to hit his way into meeting. The hatch left soft but hurts.
What?
He's in the site.
Yeah, he's straight on in and he's found another one. 2v2, W7M bringing the heat. Nice on and early. Nice eyes there for Herds onto the 2 defending players, but a great spray from Souls. JV to push down the laundry stairs. Not even a minute has passed, and he finds himself in a 1v2. Sprayed on out, can't quite deliver the goods for Souls. What can this nade do? Could open it up. Takes a bit of damage, but still survives. JV himself is on such low HP, walking dead into a crossfire. Is he going to use that second nade to clean up? FaZe are not going to give him anything. They've gone 6 to clear the magnet. A nade to follow up. This is so well played from JV, but the magnets are going to make this a hell of a lot more difficult. He's walking straight into the meat grinder, and that's Souls. Nice attempt there from W7M, but FaZe Clan lock in the first round.
FaZe starting us out on the defense, of course. An excellent roam. Contesting every point of entry, we saw Cyber, although he didn't meet anyone in small tower, he's able to get the trade onto the attacker of GDN coming through lobby.
A lot of excitement in the crowd for these teams, and you can't blame them. Latin America plays such an exciting brand of Rainbow Six. They never cease to amaze us with their passion, with their energy, and with their raw skill. And that's what we have known Brazil for years now. And now we are in the age of Brazil. Who will be the representative from that region in our grand final? Who has the best chance to take down the hometown favorites of Rogue?
Well, it's not over yet. It's only been one round in what's going to be a very long best of 3, I can imagine, between these 2 LATAM teams. W7M still wanting to be part of this conversation as FaZe take us up to their next bomb site of choice.
Now, we've talked a lot about the W7M playstyle. You absolutely love it, Mandy.
I do.
They bring a brand of Siege like no one else, even within Brazil.
They absolutely do. W7M, they're everywhere all at once. We were just chatting to Helby there in the green room as well, and he went, these guys are a nightmare to play against when they're attacking. FaZe, of course, starting out on the defense, they are susceptible to this chaotic roam clear that W7M always seem to bring. Herds starting out on this rappel.
Yeah, waiting for some information on site. Could go for a wall bang. Is there a player on the other side with a drone? Is he waiting for some timing? Oh, FaZe actually still has one of those default cameras outside. W7M too preoccupied to take it down. That's going to be potentially detrimental.
Quick entry, though, for KZ, making his way in through Armory, starting to pressure out into the side, and Herds follow through as well. Volps, they're starting to surround the site like vultures, but he could be in a bit of a pinch. Bullet looking for the run out.
2-hit jump out prepped. Still just baiting information at the moment, baiting out for the picks W7M have taken. Fairly meager map control and are waiting for that FaZe Clan aggression, gaining some more information before they send it themselves. A peek there, perhaps ill-advised from, I believe that was Cyber in the hallway down below. This man has been carrying FaZe Clan through the 6 major so far.
But look at this pressure from W7M. The wall now being opened up at the site, suddenly under a bit of pressure. Herds will start a utility dump, clearing one of the shields in attic. FaZe now under the pump and KZ to take out Astro.
Nice big pick onto one of the anchors. Cameraman lit up, but he uses that corner station to heal up. But doesn't matter apparently if the nade follows through. He's down on the ground. Volp's doing some good work, but here comes Bullet. Jumps quickly out of small tower. And just like that, FaZe Clan have turned up the heat. Cyber to get revived by his own corner station as well. W7M on the back foot.
The Salvation Station coming in clutch for Camera now back in this game. 3-on-4 situation in favor of FaZe and only 50 seconds left to go. Not much utility left in the hands of W7M either. Some bolts, some flashbangs to follow through in the execute.
They're gonna have to make it count. JV on the entry, baiting out. Gonna use some smokes to cover as well. He doesn't have that diffuser. It's on GDN. Cyber here on the long angle. He could be so pivotal. He peeks on through. But JV takes him down, looking for more now, walking through that smoke. Soul's in a great position, but FaZe Clan, the advantage is gradually slipping away, but there's Bullet. And he sprays them all down. FaZe Clan up 2-0.
FaZe holding on to that bomb side for dear life. The wall was being opened, but they were disciplined. They didn't take the fight to W7M. Astro went down, Cameraman almost as well, but the corner station to save him, and now with that man advantage, able to play out those trades and clean up W7M.
And it is a much needed strong start from FaZe Clan. In a way, they went into this tournament with a lot of expectation because it's fairly fresh in everyone's minds. What happened 9 months ago in Sweden? These guys were by far and away the best team, and they won Major. Since then, though, they've been looking for a bit of redemption, struggling at 6 Invitational, and of course, struggling to even make it to the Charlotte Major. They had to sit out. They were unable to go back-to-back. Now, on the up once again, but there's a lot of stakes for them this tournament, not only to be the first team to make a 2-time Major championship, but also their chances of making 6 Invitational currently are very grim. They're going to need to do as well as possible during this event.
FaZe taking us over to a bomb site that's quite peculiar. They're taking us over to the dining and kitchen rather than going to meeting, which seems to be more in fashion these days. Doing a hard hold onto small tower, aided by the Kiva barriers. Cyber, of course, will be the one with those in hand. W7M, though, will begin their roam clear over on the other side of the map instead, taking the path of least resistance.
Wow. What a setup here from FaZe. That Azami Kiva barrier. Oh my god. Thread that needle, Cyber.
Hertz starting to make his way in through Astro as well. Volps has gone down now, and they're left in the man disadvantage, but giving away lots of estate now are FaZe. JV a little bit wary that there might be a player in Big Tower, but he's fallen off, and now W7M have full top floor control, but that's not where the site is.
It's decent for W7M to make that control, but my question is, what are they going to be able to do with it? Where is the vertical game?
Well, the vertical game is gone. Volps, he was the first to go down, and now the only thing they have in their hands for vertical is those hard breach charges. Hertz is going to be the one to place them down. Look for some of that vertical.
It's a far cry from the sledgehammer, what you can do with those hard breach charges. Ooh, and KZ's nade shut out. Takes a little bit of damage. That C4 peeked up by Cameraman. Oh, just dancing around in the showers hallway. The second nade to go on through. Oh! Cheeky angle there from Souls, I believe that is below. Bullet now contesting those vertical lines of sight. He takes a bit of damage, throws out an impact. KZ is so low HP, but this is such a messy vertical battle.
Look at this from FaZe, relentless on the vertical pressure, not willing to give W7M anything in this round. Now a minute and ticking away for this roster.
What's the plan here for W7M? Once again, the fire goes out. The smokes to follow, no doubt, shortly. And the plant's going down. GDN, he snuck downstairs, but Bullet's in the perfect position to deny this. W7M have got to lock it in with the vertical play. As that diffuser goes down, the onus on FaZe to retake. But now W7M, they have evened up the man count, and they are continuing to fight back. They are devastating. It's all on Bullet now. He's had a decent tournament so far. Hasn't died yet this game, but that is surely about to change. What a great attack from W7M.
W7M They won't go down quietly. They won't go down without a conversation in this game. FaZe might be 2 up, but well, that doesn't rattle them at all. A beautiful attack as well onto that top floor. Even though they had lost out on the sledge, they were able to make that vertical pressure with the hard breach charge, convert their way into that kitchen hatch drop. And how perfect was that from GDN? He drops the kitchen hatch drop, but he doesn't plant in the default spot. The reason why being he knows he can get wallbang from security if there's a player in the hallway. So he goes into an unexpected spot, plants there, and from there is way closer to the next gunfight. It's just so well played from the support player of W7M.
And that's exactly what we need from W7M. They lost the first 2 rounds on their attack, started slow. We need them to break through on these more defensible bomb sites. Now FaZe go back downstairs. W7M need to have a response.
Quick replay as well. Look at that retake. Shut down completely from FaZe. JV to clean up too, and now FaZe taking us back to this basement bomb site. Now, the last time they played this, Hertz, he snuck his way into the bomb site as he usually does. That's his MO, to take down the victims on the site, but not this time. FaZe looking for something slightly different. They've opened up some more holes into elbow. They've opened up the meeting hatch ready for this roam clear drop as well. It's much more extensive from FaZe, holding on to this site pressure. Cyber, he's afraid of Hertz. Of course, Hertz outside of blue bunker, trying to make his way in straight away.
Oh, and the E1D from Lion signals aggression. A couple of players on the roam spotted out as they try to make their rotations. W7M, they might have telegraphed a rush, but it could well be a bait. At the moment, it looks like map control is on the agenda, and JV's already in lobby here.
Gone 6 rings out. FaZe now in a bit of an impasse with the roam clear of W7M.
Look at that, 5 players already rotated back to site. Do FaZe really concede so easily?
This is an interesting one for FaZe. W7M, they seem to have scared them off this roam perceived pressure that Herds is placing on the players of FaZe, and look now, just sitting in the site, waiting.
Great play from W7M. That's the thing about this team. Because they love to play aggressively, they're so hard to predict because they're not always aggressive. Sometimes they pretend to be aggressive and instead decide to take the map control. And it has allowed them to do it in just such phenomenal time management. Add to the fact that FaZe Clan themselves have opened up a lot of these hatches, and it just gets easier. Now W7M have the man advantage, and Herds is just going to send it on through. How does he win that fight? FaZe Clan can trade back the pick, but that is such a significant amount of damage done already.
Cameraman, though, looking to get aggressive on this meeting hatch, and the shots will connect onto Volps. Now FaZe clawing back. Even man count between them. Time ticking down, but still plenty of options here for W7M. It is not over just yet.
The onus is on W7M to decide where are they going to mount this push. They only have the 3 players left, and FaZe have actually retaken blue bunker.
This is some great control, great read from FaZe as W7M look to do this back take a smoke to go out. The execute to follow.
Very nice start there from W7M. Souls doing the best he can to duel with the Roni, but he's now on site and he needs to have an impact here. Starts to push on forward, close to the doorway, sees one player, takes him down, but it's got to reload. A tiny magazine, 16 bullets, and he makes every single one count. It's now a 2v1 taken out GDN. 1 versus 1 to clutch up for W7M. A flashover. And the plant begins. Bullet, what's he going to do? Is he going to wait and play the post plant? Starts to move on forward. GDN, he gets the call. He's baited off the plant, and then he goes for the push. But Bullet is more than ready. FaZe Clan save that by the skin of their teeth.
Herds, he almost put a thorn in the side of the W7M attack. FaZe, they were really rattled by that. The IGL of W7M making a big call for a solo play. He finds 2, but he couldn't find any more, and the rest of W7M out of sync with that push. Meant that FaZe, they were able to recompose, they were able to retake the map control as that back take had been telegraphed by W7M. And by retaking that position, playing those crossfires, FaZe, they were able to get straight back into it, not rattled at all by that play in the mid-round.
And a big part of that was that aggression from Souls. Really brought that back into the realm of possibility for FaZe. Significant lead starting to dawn here. FaZe Clan have been comfortable on laundry supply. They've gone back now to dorms where they won previously. It's really only that tertiary bomb site that's caused them any strife.
10 seconds to insertion.
And that's exactly right. FaZe now looking to repeat a relatively similar roam. The Kona stations to 8th anchors on the side, while 2 players start over in the small tower position. W7M, last time it was a little bit messy going to that top floor. The execute was almost fruitful for them, but FaZe were cool, calm, and collected on those crossfires. And W7M will have to press the attack a little bit harder if they want to be given anything.
Spawn picking again from FaZe. They're keeping up this aggression. They don't really want to play a 5v5 in the late round, it seems. Even if they lose a player in this aggression, they'd rather go into the late round taking out some of FaZe's critical utility.
But look at this from W7M. They could be playing right into the hands of these FaZe roamers. 2 of them still holding on to this west side control. KZ even to rendezvous with one of his teammates. And this roam clear, will it be fruitful? Will they even give up the small tower control? GDN putting pressure on the side, but for what?
Well, Cyber has managed to actually fall back here, using, once again, these keeper barriers to lock off that showers window, give him more mobility, but the drone is elusive. And FaZe Clan get a lot of information based on that position.
But hang on a minute, look at this from W7M. They've fully pivoted over to small tower. What on earth is their push going on here?
Insistent on taking full control of down below, despite the fact that FaZe is holding on with everything they've got. A good early pick, though. Gets the numbers on the W7M side. It's Bullet who needs to hold his ground in kitchen, and Cyber from the hallway as W7M start to push on fourth.
Herd's taking a little bit of damage and an engagement, and Bullet will take him down. W7M now back, even man count. They only have small tower control. There's not much in their hands for now.
And isn't that why this is just so good for FaZe? They've put themselves in a strong position, conceding ground, but only when they make it even.
And now W7M, they have to come up with something new, a brand new idea. Will they pivot back over to Master? Yes, they will. They've put enough control on that double window, and Volps, he's able to clean up Souls. Bullet to take down JV, though, and once again, we're at an even Steven in the man count.
And guess who's got a C4? Bullet. Does he have the info, though? Volps brings the numbers back into W7M's favor, and Bullet still below, still with the C4. Actually going to pre-place that underneath the double window. Unsure where FaZe, or rather where W7M are intending to mount their push.
But there's only 28 seconds for W7M. If they don't get this right on the first time, the kick could go down, and it could be disaster for them. Astro holding on. A cheeky position for him in the site.
This is why Bullet has to have an impact with that C4. Where is the jump in from W7M? KZ moves forth from the concrete position, and the plant is going down. Astro needs to win his one, but he loses it out. It's now all on Bullet. Don't even think he blew his C4. Doesn't matter. W7M and execute to roll over FaZe and get their first attack on a dorms.
That is the W7M that I know and love. I don't know about you, but that was their usual MO, if you ask me. Starting out, of course, on that small tower push, looking to put the pressure on FaZe. It caused 3 FaZe players to drop down into kitchen, try and contest them. Meanwhile, GDN, on Master side, he was already 2 steps ahead. He'd opened up that breach, anticipating that W7M would rotate back over, make that pressure work in the late round, and FaZe, they were rattled by that. They couldn't keep up the pace with these W7M strats.
Isn't that beautiful, the way that W7M read their opponents and force their opponents to play how they want to play? W7M force those rotations, force those movements, and because they have such fantastic gun skill to back up that game sense, they always put themselves in those advantageous positions, and great fist pumps at the end of it as well.
And I think that's just so well aided by the IGL of Hertz. You don't often see the IGL of any team being on this flex solo entry role. And what that means is that Hertz is consistently thinking about a 2-pronged push. He's consistently thinking, I can put pressure on here and I trust my team to do the other side. And we can switch around, we can use the pressure from both ways. And by being in that position, it really enables him to create a flow in the team like none other in this major.
And we also know that W7M, they can bring a lot of energy when the moment calls for it. It's been Herds, the man on your screen right now, who's been really at the forefront of that against Elevate. He was rowdy as can be.
W7M starting their map clear and of course putting pressure around every point they possibly can. Herds solo making his way into Big Tower while the rest of his teammates make their way in through Master. Oh, some shots almost connect, but FaZe now realizing there's no attackers coming to their side and now starting to rotate over.
Well, this is the dangerous thing for FaZe. It's a game of rotations. And if W7M can force that movement from these FaZe players into positions where W7M are happy with, okay, cameraman, he just runs straight out the Big Tower. Herds is also not able to retrade that. That's not something you see every day.
W7M now, though, they've been given this top floor control essentially in their hands. The Master entry, good from them.
That drone is right next to Astro. Surely that's a miss drone. What is Astro going to be able to do with this position?
The rest of W7M, though, they've taken this map control, and this time they have Volps in their hands. This time they've got vertical pressure to clear out that site, flush away those anchors, and look how perfectly positioned the rest of the W7M players are for this. KZ and JV holding on to that top floor control, making sure that Volps can get his business done before they hit the site.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
What are W7M going to be able to achieve with that vertical pressure, though? Looking for picks, looking for players, but you can see FaZe have fallen back significantly.
And it's well played from them as well. They're playing adjacent to the site rather than in it because they know they're going to be pressured out of the vertical. But there's that Souls running right below the vertical of Volps, I think it is. Of course, these FaZe players don't give up anything. Cameraman taken very low now. The execute has to follow through soon.
Oh, good nade. Souls still survives, still contesting the player with that nade. The second one, he managed to survive as well, finally. Volp sprays him on down, and the E1D, the final, goes through. Cyber on for a flank. Can he make another play? Volps immediately trades him on back, and FaZe are falling like flies. KZ in the bomb site.
Planning the bomb now. What are FaZe going to do?
Oh, that's what FaZe are going to do. Cameraman with the flank upstairs. He's found the double, and now it's a 2v1 on the retake. KZ needs to reload. Oh, what a shot! Can he lock it in? Oh my God! Here goes massive W7M. How do you get away with that?
I'll tell you what, W7M are here to play. 3-3 now in their attacking half. Not rattled by FaZe. In fact, at the end of that half, it looked like FaZe that was rattled by W7M. It felt like they were entrapped in the tempo, in the flow that W7M had set in that lobby. They never knew what they were going for. They had an idea, and then it was all falling apart as the W7M players came around from each and every side, and now going on to their defense. W7M.
There are no questions about where the momentum lies. Look at Herds. He's only getting started. And KZ very happy about that one. I shudder to think what he was shouting to his opponents across the stage.
Laundry Supply will be the first bomb site of choice for W7M, going on to their defending half.
I've got to ask you, Mandy, is it out with the old and in with the new? Or is there a shot here at a two-time major championship, the first in history?
It's a tough one. I don't think I want to answer that one just yet. I want the players to tell me in the lobby.
Well, at the moment, they're not giving us any clue because it is split even 3 rounds apiece. Neither team forging a significant lead over the other. These two teams are the best that Brazil has to offer. We've seen that. We've known that for quite some time. They faced off in the Elite Six Grand Final, and FaZe took it there. In fact, every single time these two teams have played each other in a best of 3, it has been FaZe the victors. The only time W7M have ever taken out FaZe Clan, it was in stage 1. And it was a single best of 1. They're looking to get some revenge on the team that has represented their region for so many years.
Just a small pause here in the lobby for W7M. I had a cheer in the crowd. Thank you, crowd. I appreciate all of you.
Look at that. Herds wants to hear it. Make no mistake, the players can hear when you guys give them a bit of noise.
Well, you asked me who you think is going to win.
Oh.
Should we ask the crowd instead? Yeah?
All right, let's give it a crack. Let W7M know if you want them to take this match. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's all right.
What about FaZe Clan? Dead even, if you ask me.
Dead even, just like this lobby at the moment. Looking at a few replays, once again, W7M, they've been so dominant in this second half of the attack. As soon as they were able to get into the tempo of FaZe, as soon as they were able to confuse them, get in their heads, if you will, W7M was all them.
Like I said before, I shudder to think what they're shouting across the stage. These have been very tight rounds. 2 of them come down to a 1v2, 2 of them down to a 1 versus 1. And we're getting back into the game right now as well. The momentum is on W7M's favor. They've just won the last 2 rounds in a row. And now FaZe Clan themselves are on that attacking side. W7M, can they carry this momentum down into the basement for their first defense?
And W7M playing a slightly different philosophy to what FaZe brought. They're leaning into the mirror pick. JV now holding 2 in his hand, as well as a very aggressive shield being held by KZ over at the double door of blue. Looking to push forward that defense onto FaZe.
Looks like the only repick is from the Hibana onto the Nomad, leaving no dedicated hard breach operator. Now, there's a good chance that Souls on the Fuse has got that secondary hard breach. We're going to see in just a sec. There you go. He does. I don't know about you. The Fuse is an unusual one to me. What's the idea?
Well, this is the beauty of FaZe, this team. They essentially have, you've got Cameraman. He's always solid in his play. He's always the support for this team. You've got Bullet, always the first entry for this team. But aside from that, you have 3 other players that can flex onto just about anything in the operator pool, including Astro, of course, the IGL of this team. And what that means is that every single one of their attacks is dynamic. There's a big focus on problem solving. And I can only imagine that for this basement attack, you really don't need all 3 hatches open depending on the type of push that you're going for. They only need to open the hatches that are mission critical to that push. And now, immediately starting out on this blue pressure, of course, KZ was the one on the other side holding the aggressive shield, and FaZe will soon be met by a bit of resistance.
Oh, but look at that. The mirrors fall victim to Cyber's Twitch drone. It's a huge boon to their side.
W7M, though, still holding on steady. FaZe making their roam clear slow and steady. They don't want to make any mistakes, making sure that there are no W7M players on this ground floor doing their due diligence with the drone. Cyber, he's gotten some big value out of this Twitch drone.
What's this from FaZe? Getting into the map, finally starting to build a bit of a push, but with the heavy anchorage set up from W7M, FaZe going to have to do everything they can. Here comes the Fuse, and here's what he was picked for.
Well, Volp's realizing that bad times are headed his way, and he needs to get out of E-Box. KZ somehow, in the midst of that, takes damage from that. And FaZe, like you said, taking their time. It's measure twice, cut once for this roster. They don't want to make a mistake. They know approximately the positions of these anchors. It's nothing too special on the side of W7M. It's just about executing it right this first time.
FaZe is still worried about this roam. We know full well that there's nobody from W7M looking for it. And FaZe really need to focus their attention on site, because here's GDN. Shotgun in hand. The grand finalists skin on it. And he's ready to join them, but FaZe Clan, I'm gonna fall for that one. A double kill for Souls. You can ban the Thinker, but you cannot ban this LMG. And it is dominant. The first flawless round of the series.
And just look at that from FaZe Clan. They are so calculated in their push. No one stepping out of line, no one going for the aggressive play, not until their teammates were right by their side, ready to match the tempo, ready to match the rush onto that site, the flurry of kills that came out. W7M, they weren't ready for it.
No, they weren't. It really just came down to souls on these rear stairs, punishing the over-aggressive GDN, preventing the refrag as well. I mean, he just didn't stop. W7M just kept peeking him. They didn't give up.
Yep. Refrag after refrag doesn't work against yet another LMG in the lobby. You could ban out Finker, but you can't ban out the second LMG on the fuse. And now FaZe looking to attack this top floor bomb site. W7M, they're not going to retry it whatsoever. They want to do something new.
We were a little worried for FaZe going into the defense, thinking that W7M had not only won that clutch, but had won 2 rounds in a row. They kind of got that momentum back on their side. Now FaZe has squished that thought. W7M are now the ones trying to find their footing as they go upstairs.
Ooh, cheeky from Hertz as well, looking for the spawn peek.
Imagine the reaction he'll have if he lands this. Risky. Oh, very safe way to play it.
Doesn't want to give his life up now, but cameraman, he's brought something a little bit special on the Amaru. What's he going to do with this? Small tower. That's not where you use the Amaru.
The Kid Storm's window, the Kid Storm's hatch. What's the play here? Maybe we'll only see in the late round, perhaps. For now, a player that's been a standout this event for FaZe, it is Cyber, and he's got an important job now clearing out this site utility, namely the mirror windows, which otherwise can be very difficult to deal with.
FaZe looking to do a master-centric clear for this top floor attack, not looking to do attic at all unless Cyber tries to go for something. JV holding on to tier 3 here. What impact can he have? It doesn't seem like much as FaZe aren't playing into his hands. They're going for this master control instead. Of course, the wall has already been opened up for them. That's one step done, but something also for them to worry about.
The good thing here for the position of JV in Big Tower is because that attic rotation is there between that and Big Tower, he has a way in, but here it is. Surely this is too early.
Send it. Someone in the crowd just said, send it, cameraman. It's time to go.
And he sends it indeed. He finds one, finds a double. Oh my God. Cyber's gone nuts and cameraman re-peeking the position. A flashbang to go over, shutting out JV. Flashes himself in the meanwhile. What's JV going to be able to do with this? Attempted retake now for W7M as FaZe Clan have stolen the site. What is JV going to be able to do on this retake? Can't land the shots needed against cameraman. The Amaru all too good. GDN got the world ahead of him. FaZe Clan once again. They got 5 rounds to 3.
And W7M now getting a taste of their own medicine on the defense. All of their attacks were oddly paced. It was explosive in the late round, but so is FaZe's. FaZe, they don't give an inkling to W7M in any way. They don't, they're drones, they're barely visible. W7M have no idea what FaZe have gone for the past 2 rounds, and both times the execute has been explosive. It's rattled the defense of W7M, and I can only imagine that the philosophy has to change for them. This anchor hold onto the site, trying to play the crossfires, is never going to work against a team as flexible and as fluent as FaZe, and especially not against someone like Cameraman on that Amaru.
And Cyber, of course, who made his impact felt pushing in from Trophy, supported the perfect timing with Cameraman. W7M on the back foot, they've taken their tactical pause, they've had a bit of a chat. They need to get that momentum back because they are yet to win a defense.
And W7M looking to take us back down to that basement bomb site. Not changing their philosophy though, still holding on to that mirror, the shield as well on GDN and FaZe. They were so successful in that last round, in that last attempt of this bomb site. And W7M have to show for it.
It's crazy, isn't it? W7M have picked this map, Oregon. FaZe Clan already asserted themselves ahead. And FaZe Clan, the last time they played this map was against G2 in the group stage. They went 7-0, lost to G2. W7M, on the other hand, well, they haven't played this map in months. The entire of stage 2, They haven't played Oregon. They've been saving it up for a rainy day, saving it up for a special occasion such as this. And now, when it comes to it, when they're fighting for a spot in the final, they just don't seem to be able to deliver.
FaZe now beginning their attack onto this basement bomb site. 3 players actually spawning over on the construction site. Is this a rush? Astro's got the Gone 6 out.
Tells you something, doesn't it? That every single round FaZe Clan play it slightly differently. No fuse, no meeting clear yet. W7M have 2 players ready for this rush, though.
Yeah, just look at that. They know exactly what FaZe are going for. Now, W7M, they have a better read on FaZe. They know they like this explosive take. The Gone 6 follow out, but ooh, I don't think it actually connected onto the barricade.
Well, my magnet did catch. Okay, the nade did not destroy the barricade. I believe it did destroy the barbed wire, though. W7M can feel pretty safe now that that barricade is not up, but FaZe have taken some decent map control.
And just look at this from FaZe as well. They know that they've got all the W7M players trained on the site. Now they've put the pressure there and they've realized, okay, they've given us the map control. Let's take it now in this mid-round. Roam clear, not even needed.
Looks like W7M completely forfeiting and seceding any part of the map similar to what they did before. But it's going to take a bit of time for FaZe to realize that.
Now, something I've just realized on the side of FaZe is that they have no hard breach. So they cannot open any of those hatches that go into the site. They can only open vertical, which can't be done in the basement. And the options are actually quite low from here as well. If they don't get a hatch open, it's just going to be a flood down each stairs. And if W7M can pick up on that, all they need to do is hold on to one stairwell each, and there's nothing more.
Yeah, this is a very unconventional push. Oh my God, JV. What a shot. How are you going to deal with these mirrors, FaZe? It just feels like W7M are in the driver's seat for this round.
And they have nothing to do with these mirrors. There's no Hibana, there's no Ace. They've only got, well, 2 sets of nades, actually, it's quite a lot, to try and nade out this player. But with the anchor setup they have, look at these Womizes. Look at these ADSs protecting this mirror window.
It feels like the only way in the world that FaZe win this round is if they hit some unreal shots. Astro's hit 1, but, oh, he does get a second. Volps can make sure that there is a trade. It's only a 2v3 now, which means a single engagement going W7M's way makes it impossible now for FaZe. Finally, W7M find a defense.
A miscalculation from FaZe, not bringing any hard breach, slimming their options to get into the site, and W7M punish them for it. They sit tight, they hold the anchor positions, knowing that FaZe had nothing to deal with it. And with that, they can take away another round.
W7M gonna need your energy to pull through this. They're gonna have to defend another bomb site now, though. Laundry supply is locked. They seem to be resilient to the pressure. FaZe Clan making some critical mistakes in the operator repick. They had to dedicate to that rush. No hard breach, didn't really give them a choice.
W7M take us up to this top floor bomb site. GDN starting his way out in trophy with a shield as well. So far, so good for W7M, starting to get back into this game, starting to get the flow, but was it really W7M back in it, or was that a misplay from FaZe? We're not sure, but in this round, W7M will have to prove to us that it was all them.
You can see a significant roam down below from W7M, and there's some information already from FaZe. So these mute jammers somewhat less effective because Cameraman snuck his drone under this table right next to JV. Getting past those mute jammers, past that information denial that FaZe have set up. But we're seeing Cameraman once again on this Amaru.
Oh. FaZe, it just feels like you never know what they're going to go for, and Cyber is actually going to be the first to take out KZ here on this Armory Rappel. Putting the pressure from every other side, and the W7M players starting to feel wary that their site might be under pressure.
And this is the hard choice, isn't it? You've got these 2 roamers below, but at what point do they feel like they need to rotate back? Even if they do, they're pretty well cut off here. Look at this position from Bullet. He's so wary of the jump out, and he's also preventing the rotation at bottom white.
FaZe, they look like they're setting themselves up for success. Either that or looking to punish the mistakes of W7M. Players, they cannot rotate back to the side now, and Cameraman kicks it off. Cyber to follow with the second onto Volps.
He's done it again. Cameraman, and it's a flawless round. You blink and you miss it, I guess. FaZe Clan immediately retaliate. And those Dorms attacks with the Amaru are so oppressive.
It's just so masterfully played from FaZe. They put the pressure onto the players below, but not only that, they get into the perfect cutoff positions for it as well. You have the player at bottom white, you have the player on the kids repel to cut off someone coming up white, coming through the rotate. Same thing with the armory repellent as well from Cyber. Every other way that those ground floor players could have tried to rotate back up was shut out by FaZe. And in tandem with the pressure on the side, they were able to choke out W7M. It didn't feel like FaZe had really pressed that attack all too hard until they found a pick that let them in, and Cameraman, he used that invitation and he went straight for it.
He just loves that SMG-11. In close range, the quick game down sides time. Knows exactly what to push. It's a scary thing about FaZe, isn't it? You never know if they're just gonna Amaru straight into sight.
And that's just such a dance that we have between these two LATAM teams. On both times that these teams have attacked, it's been them that's setting the pace. It's been them that's actually causing problems for the defense. The defense has to problem solve the attack. It's the other way around.
Yeah.
In this particular matchup, we often say that the attack has a problem that they need to solve in the defense. They need to dissect the map, but in fact, it's all being thrown apart.
W7M gonna try and get aggressive. Herds on this spawn peak. We need that energy that Herds brought during the Elevate game. We need the fire that W7M have brought throughout the BR6. They've been dominant within their own region. They won 8 games in a row in Stage 1. In Stage 2, they were almost as dominant. Back-to-back Brazilian champions. But within the Copa Elite, it's always been FaZe Clan that come out on top. It feels like this is such a pivotal moment for W7M in their careers. How long can they stay the bridesmaid and not the bride?
Cyber, though, taken low in an engagement over on this satellite window. W7M, they're still holding on to this top floor control, and FaZe looking to reconvene all of their players to this big tower push. Oh, look at that Rotero drone, takes out everything. The Kona station, the Kona station still stands somehow. 3
Salvation
ADSs,
stations.
Salvation station.
Too good, I guess. That's a lot of util clear, though, isn't it?
Astro as well, using the Ossa Shield to enable this minimalist push into the big tower. W7M will have to rehaul their players through Attic if they want to get control back inside, and Souls now getting the wall open puts JV and Herds under pressure, but W7M, they seem to have a pretty good read on this push, trying to deny that entry.
There's still an Evil Eye on site as well for W7M, so that helps out the retake. It also helps out plant denial potential. And this pivotal player of JV is still in this pinch position. He can do a lot of damage at the sandbags.
Well, if this is the phase that we know, something explosive is about to happen, and that might be it. The grenades flow through, and it's perfect from Bullet.
Double trouble, the nade and the Rotero. JV not gonna survive. When is this entry gonna come through from FaZe Clan? They've got map point here on W7M's own pick.
And Bullet, he's being so patient, waiting for his team.
KZ as well on for the flank. Cameraman is watching this. FaZe Clan have the read. They know exactly what buttons to press. And here they are in the 5v3 execute. Where is the response? There it is from W7M, and they stand tall. It's a 2v2 as the young gunners have got to step up. It's on Herds, the hype man himself, and his trusty support GDN on for this retake. Moved up towards that diffuser, trying to bait out a push, but there it is from Bullet. One bullet is all that he needs. FaZe Clan have looked so good on Oregon, and they are barreling their way to another major final. It's a done deal. There's nothing GDN can do. FaZe Clan are going to go one map up in the semi-final.
FaZe, they look very poised and happy with that one. A very clean, well played Oregon. They matched pace with W7M, in fact, overtaking their pace, throwing them off guard. There was nothing that W7M could do.
In a form like this, FaZe, I'm sure they believe they can take on anyone. And they put to bed, for now, the question of who stands tall at the top of Brazil. But they got to find one more map to lock it in. W7M, where are they? They need to get back into this series and they need to do it fast.
W7M, though, they still have 2 maps to try and bring it back and close their way into the grand finals. Not over just yet, but what they need is this mental reset. They need to go onto FaZe's map pick next.
And that's the tough thing, isn't it? We're going to Kafe next up. W7M, they've shown some Kafe this tournament. They've shown just how good they are, but FaZe Clan have dominated on Oregon, and W7M need to fight back right now. We'll go to a break. Stick around.
Paris, Mexico, Stockholm. I have so many memories. I had a front row seat to see Goga qualify G2 Esports for the final after an unbelievable performance.
On the best team in the world.
I was there in Tokoname, where Nello won a legendary round all by himself.
In the midst of a crossfire, gets one on the Diesel and a second one on Amaranth. Oh my God, are you kidding me? The 1v4.
I was standing in that madding crowd at Montreal, stunned by the triumph of Space Station Gaming.
But it's home once again.
I was thrilled when Ninjas in Pajamas got its revenge in Paris.
Not bad. Alamau in a 1v3 here. He makes the swing, he finds the headshot, and not just one.
I witnessed LMAO's demonstration in Mexico when he led Team 1 to a consecration against all odds. I was fortunate to see Damwon Kia making history in front of me in Yavle.
First Korean team who are progressing to the semi-finals.
But did I tell you I even saw as a nobody TSM FTX became the new world champions in Stockholm?
They have a rematch.
This is it. This is my major story. And as an official hardware partner of Rainbow Six Esports, I feel blessed to witness them for such a long time.
Welcome back, friends, to Berlin. We continue with our major. And our second matchup of the day, best of 3 series. Map 1, Oregon, a classic one for this all BRBR matchup is done. A lot of action on the server, not gonna lie. Expected.
Yes, I mean, obviously, right? But I said I didn't expect that many like gimmicks on Oregon. We saw a couple of them, Jack. It wasn't just one round where FaZe did something weird. It was like every single round.
You wasn't vibing with the fuse on the laundry pick, was you, whatsoever?
Yeah.
Until he walks down tower stairs and gets a free K with the LMG.
Yeah, I was like, Jack, why would you pick Fuse in this scenario? And I went, maybe for the LMG, and then 3K. And I was like, yeah, LMG's pretty good.
And do you know what? I bet W7M are really regretting that choice.
Yeah, there's so much that you can ban out now, but it seems like LMGs is the way to go. We got a clip already, and you guys requested it, so go ahead. It's all yours, Jacker.
So the one thing that we're setting up, and the one thing that we love about FaZe, is the pacing of their attacks. The previous rounds of this, they'd just done a full clear, got down to about 45 seconds, then done an execute, maybe even a little bit less than that. I think it was maybe about 30 seconds on the laundry. A minute 30 here, the Romaro into the site, cameraman getting a double kill, there's another kill coming in off site, and it's just a 3-2-1, fast execute. So they're going slow into fast, and they change it up. And the one thing that does is it keeps teams guessing.
Yep, that it does. And they do it time and time again, not just one time, not just twice, but 3, 4, 5, 7. They continuously do that throughout the entirety of the game. And if you're W7M and you're not super experienced either, what do? Do you play passive and hope they rush you? Do you play aggressive and then maybe they play slow and they get opening kills? It's so hard to play against because normally in these games, you take about 2 or 3 rounds to feel out your opponent, but they can't.
You kind of feel your opponent out, and you kind of just like, we know whether they're going to rush. We see the signs. With FaZe, you have no idea what they're going to do. And it makes them so hard to play against because you're always second-guessing yourself.
This reminds me of FaZe Clan in 2018 even. We're going way back in the day because back, for example, remember Consulate. That was a map in the pool. I really enjoyed having Consulate. But the way that FaZe played all these maps, even different iterations of the roster, at that point when Cameraman had just stepped on for the first time with the squad, is that segmented. You get pick, fall back, get pick again, rounds over, confusing their opponents. And it seemed like W7M could not properly respond to it. What was those things that they really needed, that were missing, that could allow them to break down FaZe's momentum for a moment?
I mean, Jack and I spoke about what would Rogue do in the finals if FaZe were to make it through. And I think Jack said it well. It's like, play your own game, right? Yeah. You don't let them dictate what you should be doing. You try and force the pace onto them, right? Whether it's playing super aggressive yourself, shutting down the entries, or playing passive together, guaranteed refrags. Essentially, you gotta make sure that whatever FaZe is doing isn't working every single time.
I think what you've got to do is actually meet fire with fire. There was a few rounds where W7M looked a little bit more default, quote-unquote default, is when teams, and we saw this yesterday with Fury, is when they go up against FaZe, another LATAM team, they kind of have to play the role of the non-LATAM team, and that's what FaZe is so good. You get kind of dragged into playing their game. W7M just need to focus on their game, which is aggressive, which is explosive, and not worry too much about who their opponent is.
I do agree. I mean, the very final round from FaZe was extremely surgical on that meeting attack. Flank was covered, plant went down, 2 trades went through, and sure, W7M almost brought it back, but again, FaZe's fundamentals are also strong when it comes down to it.
And it's something we talked about in the pregame, which is the experience that FaZe Clan brings into all of this, and all together in comparison to the new kids on the block. On the other side, W7M getting their first appearance here internationally, technically in Charlotte, but that was, a lot of asterisks around it as it all happened here. But it was still an impressive showing from the squad, and we'll get to see the match summary 7-4 for FaZe Clan. Of course, Case really on top of the team, but you need a concerted team effort to take down someone like FaZe.
I mean, I did speak up about KC, before the first map started, but Volps yesterday was really the story of W7M. Today, Volps had a bit of a slow start. Of course, we got more maps to go, but across the board, I feel like player by player value, FaZe gets a little bit more out of their players than W7M so far.
And that's to be expected, right? It's because, they have been around a long time. This is a team that, everyone's got their own story about people like Cameraman. From an event that they attended, 3, 4, 5, however many years ago. You can say I was there in Milan when he actually got on the camera, right? But if you look at the actual experience of this roster, the amount they trust each other, there's no wonder that there's more of a complete team performance coming out of them because they have just been around the block that little bit longer.
All right, then map number 2, Kafe Dostoevsky in this series. Again, a classic map and how things have been going in the meta game. Still kind of figuring out how it all fits with Azami and Aruni and how they combine here together. So what are your thoughts? Do you expect this to go one way or another? Any numbers that can help out of that?
Well, we actually saw the Sledge and the Azami and the Arumi band away yesterday when FaZe played this map. So wonder if we're going to go something a little bit similar and a little bit away from the default. A little bit more aggressive, a little bit more oppressive. But the big thing to watch out for, again, it's just the same thing for me, is how can W7M cope with FaZe's pacing on the attack? If they can cope with that, they'll be fine. If they can't, then I think this could be a quick 2-0.
The way I saw it was that W7M had to win Oregon to win this series. Because Kafe is going to go one way, in my opinion, and that's FaZe. You can ban one attack on one defender, but FaZe, they can play 5 or 6 different ones, so many different styles. So they got something up their sleeve.
Very quickly, we've got to go to break. Map 3, yes, no?
No.
Yes.
Say it.
Yes.
Oh,
I love
come
the
on.
Jeopardy. We'll disagree. We'll agree to disagree.
Sure. Maybe we'll get Villa, maybe not so. Put your hands together. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, that'll be the continuation of the new kids on the block. W7M versus FaZe Clan.
Welcome back, Berlin. It could be over in just one map. FaZe Clan have taken down W7M's own map pick, and now we find out who truly are the kings of Brazil. Mandy, W7M came in as one of the tournament favorites. They were looking like hot property from Brazil, but they've got a lot of work to do to climb back out of this one.
They absolutely do. FaZe, they look in their elements. They look like they're setting the momentum, the tempo. Everything is going their way, and W7M, they're trapped in what FaZe Clan have brought.
W7M, to carve their name in history, they must fight back on Kafe. For this dream to stay alive, they must stay in the running. FaZe Clan are looking to do what no team has ever done before and win 2 majors. To get there, they're gonna have to finally put to bed the question of who reigns supreme in Brazil.
Ying to be the first band to go out on the side of FaZe, of course, has been very potent in this particular major, picked often.
Hey, that's a good one. You don't see that ban every now and then. Cyber, little smiley face.
Valkyrie as well taking out the third one to go through. What will be next? Will it be Mira? Will it be Kaid? The crowd can tell us.
We're gonna see that mirror slip through. It's up to FaZe to decide. The Wamai, all right. So there's a lot of operators left in here, Mandy. A lot of big hitters have slipped through.
Well, of course, the Twitch being taken out, that was Cyber's pick in that last particular map, and he was very, very good with it. That being taken away does mean that your Thatcher's been let through, all of your hard breach has been let through as well. Same thing on the defense. Although Wamaya's gone, you're still holding on to your Mirror. You're still holding on to Azami. All these kinds of very potent picks now for the defense have been left in. And FaZe starting us out on this ground floor.
And we get the Tachenka again. I love to see Tachenka make his appearance. It's Cyber, of course, who has been such a phenomenal player for FaZe this tournament, hasn't he? But there is one thing that has slipped through that ban phase. KZ, one of the most monstrous players to come out of Brazil. He has his finger.
He certainly got the finger, but can he use it to good effect? Cyber, of course, opening up that bottom white doorway, looking for some cheeky spawn peeks onto the side of W7M, immediately pressing that defense. A bakery hold. This is quite a special one as well. The shield instead facing the small bakery window, directly contesting it, does enable the player behind the counter to take much easier fights onto the double door. They don't have to worry about being backstabbed anymore. And W7M, they're bringing the Monty to try and deal with it.
Yeah, you don't often see Monty. GDN got that in his arsenal, but it's going to be difficult to clear this position. And the Monty might be able to walk on in, but is it going to be an adequate tool to deal with this oh so complicated setup?
But look at this from W7M. They're starting to shape their push around the bakery, aided by this Monty. Grenades as well in the hands of some of these attackers. KZ, he will throw one out and actually get the down onto Bullet. He takes him down. The first pick of this map.
A big one as well. Smoke meant to be time delay. Well, hasn't even been a minute, and Bullet is out of the game. W7M immediately rotate, completely forfeiting the ground that they have gained to now invest upstairs. JV right around the corner from Cameraman, who makes the swing. But W7M double down. And we start to slip the lead. FaZe desperate to claw something back.
Now Volbs, with the sledge in his hands, can get to work on that second floor. The rest of the FaZe members forced off the site if that vertical pressure were to come through. But Cyber, he starts to get aggressive, taking the fight onto white stairs, but it doesn't matter, it hurts. Just take him down. And W7M now 5-2 in the lead.
This is exactly what W7M needed to kick off Kafe. It's FaZe Clan's map pick. W7M got the L handed to them on Oregon. Well, they expected to prosper. The gamble, it didn't work. Now they have to start strong here. Really send a message to FaZe Clan that they are not going to go down easy. Souls can't quite land the shots he needs. And on the re-peak, Volbs very happy about that one.
Astro now left in the 1 versus 5 scenario. Crossfire being held through this hallway. The player at the bottom brown stairs and the bottom red as well. He's going to be met by a world of resistance, and he's second now.
JV to lock it in. W7M breathing out a sigh of relief. They get a flawless round to kick off Kafe. And this is what is so scary about this up-and-coming roster. Their attacks, especially on Kafe, are phenomenal.
Well, that's been the story of the series so far, right? It's all been the attack. It's all been the way that they assert the pressure onto the defense, make them worry, and then have the defense have to problem solve mid-round, decide whether they're actually going to try and contest the roam clear, whether they're going to fall off, because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. We can see here all of the FaZe players trying to look for the timing to get aggressive, even contesting the vertical, but it didn't work against W7M.
And look at this from Volbs. Not only landing the kill, but he sprayed that body down, taking it out on FaZe. Bit of frustration, no doubt, after Oregon. And what has got to be the call after they lose that map, after they go down in threat of elimination, after everything they have achieved, after the heartbreak that they felt in Charlotte? They've been placing their hopes on this major to be their opportunity to make a name for themselves.
FaZe now setting up their defense onto Reading and Fireplace, their second site of choice. Holding on aggressively with the keeper barriers inside of Piano as well. Looking to directly contest that roam clear from W7M, but W7M, of course, on the attack, we say, time and time again, the ones setting the pace. What will they bring this time?
Well, they have that Monty once again. Yet, it's hard to really pinpoint the impact of it last round. It felt like W7M just got so many picks and spiraled their advantage even before that Monty had an impact.
Volp's the first point of contest, opening up these hatches with that sledgehammer. Seems like a clear through the top floor will be what W7M go for, but if it's their usual MO, of course, they're going to have another point of pressure. Herds making his way up the red stairs, starting to use these footsie holes against the player inside of Piano. But it doesn't seem like Bullet is going to fall for it just yet.
Bullet playing this perfectly. He's feeling that pressure, though, and he does spray down JV. No refrag as of yet, and he starts to fall back. Volps, though, a good nade onto Cyber, and this top floor is starting to be taken now by W7M.
And look at that, the Monty trudging his way forward now through the right hallway, but met by no one, as in fact there's a player that's fallen back into Freezer instead. Hurts to follow through, just checking down a flank drone for his dead teammate of JV to watch. And top floor control still not conceded on the side of FaZe.
How long are they going to hold on for, realistically? It's quite aggressive.
Well, the thing is, it's going to be very difficult for Bullet to fall off in this position, isn't it? There's someone on the roof, there's someone cutting off Souls as well. If he wants to get out, he's got to go through the white, rotate, but the entry is starting to come through. Souls, he can hop off the balcony, but what about Bullet?
Ooh, Bullet. Well, he's made use of his impact grenade to deal a decent hunk of damage on the GD, and he does fall back. Astro elsewhere, though. He's the one who's taken down. Oh, and the cutoff from KZ. Perfect timing coming through Garage. And that rotation has been punished. There's only 2 players left from FaZe. They know they need to bring this man advantage back to an equality, especially with that Monty on the board.
And just look at that, a perfect pinch as well coming from W7M.
Oh
no,
what?
This is a bit of a run out from Cameraman, taken down by the air jab. Now they know there's only 25 seconds, but only Souls is left up to contest the site.
Yeah, and Herds has this position on lockdown. Doesn't quite land the first spray. That gives an inkling to Cameraman, who turns the corner with the shotty. Hell in a Cell on the stairs, but finally he has been taken down. This diffuser still not planted. GDN's gonna force it on, but KZ, fire up.
And that's the beauty in the way that W7M play with their food. They start out on the roam clear, but KZ, he's a step ahead. He knows that these defenders, they're going to use that ground floor to rotate back up the brown stairs. He knows that's going to be the point of contest, because once the site execute comes through, there's a big push for that retake. So by being the thorn in their side, by being a step ahead of that roam fall off, and trusting in his teammates to make that push through, to flush the defenders into his cutoff, it was perfect from W7M.
And that's why it's been such a dominating start here on Kafe. FaZe Clan took a bit of a gamble picking this map, knowing that W7M have been undefeated on Kafe. 5 wins, 0 deaths, plus 16 round differential. They win most of their attacks, they win most of their defenses. They're just damn good on Kafe. They took down Elevate 7-3 just yesterday. FaZe Clan, on the other hand, I mean, Kafe, we have seen them win before. We saw them also win it yesterday. But when you're taking a team to a map that they are so perfect on, it's such a gamble.
FaZe looking to repaint this basement bomb site. Bullet, he's playing a little bit more cheeky this time, not behind the shield, knowing that those grenades are going to follow through early, and instead getting his ready up and contesting the window straight away.
You can just see these teams, the way that they wait for this aggression, the way that they patiently feel it out. It creates these openings that then the teams capitalize upon. W7M now on the full clear, the full roam clear. Got a lot of work to do here.
And this is well read by W7M as well, right? Last time they attacked this bomb site, they directly hit Bakery. They're able to find picks there. And look at that, FaZe. They've dedicated so much of their utility to this anchor hold that in fact there's barely anyone roaming. They've gifted the map control to W7M and now they're taking it.
Yeah, and they're taking it with ease as well. A minute down, droning up now the middle floor, and Hurt not lacking at all in confidence. He's going to check a little bit as well with the Gemini. But you're exactly right. I mean, this is going to be a very different kind of attack from W7M. They don't have the Monty. They've got that ace. My question is, where is the primary point of ingress going to be when they start executing onto site?
But now they can push through this mid-round. They have Volps on the side of the sledge, of course, very proficient on this operator. And they even have early intel going into this execute. They have so many options on the cards. It's time for this conversation through the mid-round. Herds, what's he calling for the team?
Yeah, what is the call? Because for FaZe, the call is that we're feeling a lot of pressure right now. Vertical lines open. Now we know that W7M have a hell of a lot of information.
And look at FaZe, they've been pushed completely off the site, having to play these adjacent positions. Only a player inside of Kafe, but that player is going to have to be pushed out soon. He can patch up some holes with those keeper barriers, but what of it? A grenade to follow through as well. It doesn't connect. He can hold on to Kafe, but for how much longer?
And he's sealing up that vert. Still Herds peeking, looking for a pick. Already cleared a lot of these keeper barriers. Just 40 seconds left, and we're still in this 5-on-5.
Oh no, and that could be disastrous as well. FaZe, they're using the smoke canisters to deny this freezer push. It has to be something else from FaZe. The site control is still theirs.
W7M have got to make an impact here. Time ticking away. They don't have much information. They haven't cleared everything. Cameraman down and out. But FaZe do not stop fighting. It's only Cyber and Astro left in the 2v2. With 2 players down as well, but KZ, he's going to have to pick up that diffuser as soon as possible. And Cyber will do his best on the vertical game. Got to reload. It's a 1v1. Is KZ safe from the vertical game? Surely Cyber can find him. He doesn't have any info. And now he's got to retake. It's all onto Cyber. KZ knows that it's a 1 versus 1. And he has info now on the back of that air jab. Cyber reveals his position twice, and KZ's fallen back as well. Cyber's got to make it on through, but look at how far back KZ has found his position. All the way outside of Bakery. Cyber, there's just 15 seconds left. He's got to send it, and with that, we know that there's no chance. Oh, wait a second. No way! He's got on it! Is there going to be time? Is he going to make it? Cyber, he lands the clutch! I can't believe it!
And FaZe, they can take a round here on this defense. We thought it was all W7M, but in the end, flushed out. On that attack by the smoke, the bomb went down, but Cyber using that Oryx Satch, the perfect piece of gadgetry to win out that clutch for FaZe. If it had been anyone else, KZ would have won that.
I mean, it was by a factor of 30 milliseconds, or 300 milliseconds, just a split moment in time. He landed that perfectly.
Cyber,
oh my goodness, that's something.
Now FaZe taking us up to this top floor bomb site, looking for more success off the back of that momentum. Winning out that clutch, that puts something in their minds, in their hearts to keep going. This is a series, it really is.
Certainly as FaZe finally get their first round here. It's been so difficult. W7M are such a confident attacking-sided team, and FaZe historically struggle on their defense.
You speak about confidence for W7M, but look at this hold from FaZe, playing not just a line of sight, a rotate hole inside of that backstore open, as well as holding onto the cigar control. There is nothing but confidence in this lobby.
And FaZe can't have that momentum on their side as well. On the back of a clutch like that, W7M, I mean, what happens in the comms? In that moment of celebration for FaZe, it's a moment of realization for W7M. I cannot believe we just lost that. And that's when you need to keep the mental strong. You can't go arguing about things that you can't change.
This attack onto Kafe, of course, always slow, trying to make their way up to the roof. The first point. Onto those repels inside, but here's a C4 ripped onto this white room repel.
Oh.
Almost connects into KZ, but he's able to get away with his life.
Oh, have a look at that. FaZe Clan looking to get aggressive onto this position. The C4, they've also made a rotation outside of Garage, and KZ forced to hard watch it instead of play actively on his position.
And Cameraman, of course, he's still holding on to this rotation, wary that KZ might use it against him, and he might. He gets on the camera. Oh, can it see the rotate? He gets off it. It gets back on it. Okay, thank goodness. Cameraman on the cameras, of course, able to spot out this push.
All right, so FaZe, you've got this nice little setup in piano, and you wanted to clear it with the help of the player on the white window, but if Astro gets a little bit too aggressive, you might not need it. It's a repel position from JV. A nice support there from the keeper barrier on the white window.
The grenade to follow from below. Oh no, we'll walk right into it. He doesn't, but KZ, he can find the first pick.
Yeah, FaZe are starting to crumble here on this hold. Astro low HP as well makes him very vulnerable to any more nades. Fortunately for him, it's just the one left. But Bullet now downstairs on the roam as Herds has pushed his way into reading.
But Herds, he seems to know. Look, he's looking right at the doorway where Bullet might be pushing from. No, he's not actually. He's looking at the rotate, wary of this roam that is happening on the ground, second floor. But what's happening on the top floor at the moment? Where is the rest of W7M? What have they been able to achieve? Because really, Cigar was given away to them. They could execute if they wanted to.
Oh, the game of cat and mouse is won by Bullet. Hertz goes down, the last remaining nade as well. You can see Bullet wants to jump out this window. KZ completely unawares, it seems. But W7M have found it in. You know what? There's only 20 seconds left here. The jump out. Oh, no, he can't land it. What an embarrassment. It's the only cameraman left. He makes it a 1v2. But that diffuser is going down. GDN has to fake it, has to relocate. Cameraman could very well win this clutch. He just has to land the clutch onto the first kill. JV taken out. It's a 1v1. We have seen FaZe win these unwinnable 1v1s before. But GDN, nerves of steel he must have as cameraman rounds this corner. GDN, does he know about the position? Shots exchanged both ways. Cameraman now with the shotty. Does he have any idea where he is? He rounds the corner, jumps over the top! Cameraman, the 4K and the 1-on-3. FaZe Clan, what a reply.
Oh, FaZe Clan, they are still in this. Every time it feels like W7M have a grip on the site. 2 clutches now in a row. The attack slipping out of the hands of W7M.
And at this point, what do we have to say for W7M? It's desperation. They started so strong. They know how to attack this map. They know that they are one of the best teams to do it. Kafe, they have been flawless on all stage long. And FaZe Clan here, a clutch and another clutch. 2 in a row, back to back, to bring FaZe even on the scoreline. W7M, realistically, they can't afford to lose any more attacking rounds.
Now take us down to Reading and Fireplace. Another bomb side by FaZe. Holding on to that top floor control, aided by the Oryx, aided by the site construction, the vertical lines through the floor from cameraman as well. W7M, it's nothing like this last map has been. That last map was all about the attack. It was all about what W7M could do to this defense, but they don't have it in this series. Here, we can see FaZe matching the pace of W7M. They know that W7M take their time to get on the site, they give it to them, but they're fast on the retake, they're aggressive on it, waiting for that right timing to jump on it, and W7M aren't rattling them at all.
No, in fact, quite the opposite. It feels like with every clutch that FaZe gets, W7M fall back into their shells. They feel further rattled. With every advantage that slips between their fingers, the question raises, whose fault was that? Who's to blame? What can we do about it? We can't afford to lose another map here. We will be out of the tournament. W7M have higher expectations. They refuse to go out this early, to go out to FaZe Clan.
W7M now starting their attack on the top floor. Volps realizing that one of the lines of sight he has onto backstore is actually cut off by a Kiba barrier. He needs to nade it out. And Nate does follow through, and perhaps he has this line of sight for him now. But W7M, this entry is going to be very tough. A player still in Pixel, contesting the window repel.
Oh, Hertz doesn't quite land the shot that he hoped for. He's got that player trapped in the corner, but he's not able to nade it and hold the position at the same time.
Pings going out. W7M a nade to follow through to try and flush him out. The player on the white repel, though, he doesn't connect the shots. Oh, KZ.
How do you let him get away with that? I mean, W7M have taken the ground, but that's pretty rough. Letting FaZe Clan get away, letting Bullet get away with his life. Astro doing a little bit of damage there on the long angle with the Evil Eye. W7M feeling a little bit rattled. Haven't been able to convert these advantages.
And just look at this cacophony of utility in that top floor, holding onto that Cocktail's side, the info to come through on Longbar as well, and even a player inside of Backstore, which Volps is trying to cut off, but he can't. Cyber instead, he takes the fight, he can find two, but not before being traded back by GDN.
These mistakes, W7M, they never make them. What is going on? The pressure it's getting to them, and the experience of this FaZe roster is letting them get away with things that they just shouldn't be able to. Another one for Souls. There are cracks in the armor for W7M, and oh no. Let's hope that they can at least refrag out this position. Souls, what's he gonna be able to do? Another one! And he is a menace in this position. GDN now a 1v4, but this is not an enviable position at all. Another flash to go through. Completely blind his Souls. But Astro still has the information from this Evil Eye. And there's just no time left. GDN is a dead man walking. FaZe Clan 3 rounds straight, and to add embarrassment to injury, they will hunt him down. Cameraman, oh, okay, there you go. Doesn't matter for W7M. FaZe Clan have won 3 rounds in a row.
And just look at that from FaZe. Pressing that defense against W7M. They knew that W7M was stagnating in that top floor. They knew that the utility was starting to get to them, and they had to problem solve. And in that moment, where the comms were flurrying, where they were thinking about what they could do next, we even saw W7M, they sent some drones down into the second floor, maybe considering changing their push, but by the time that they thought about it, by the time they collected all their intel, it was too late. Cyber, he found the timing on that push through Longbar and takes down 2 players from W7M.
FaZe Clan have brought an extra fire today. W7M take their tactical pause, a much needed one at that. The team that we're seeing today is not the promised one that we saw all year long. There's been so much hype behind this roster. The new Kings of Brazil, people have been saying. One of the tournament favorites. The most unpredictable and aggressive team that we have seen for quite some time. And yet here it is. They must get back on that horse.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bomb.
FaZe now actually taking us over to mining and dining. Now, I love this bomb site because every time I see it played, I go, ooh, this is a bit exciting, something new. Cyber, of course, being the site, actually not even the site construction for this lineup. There's actually nothing other than the Aruni punches to construct this site at all. That fascinates me. I wonder what FaZe have got up their sleeve.
It's his last-ditch effort now for W7M. If they can't make good use of that tactical timeout, if they can't capitalize, it's got to be over. You've got to say it. FaZe Clan historically struggle on their Kafe defenses. W7M typically flourish on their Kafe attacks. And today has been an entirely different story. They must put everything they've got into winning this final round of attack.
And can you imagine what was going on in that tactical timeout for W7M? They probably didn't even think that this would be the bomb site. They probably thought, oh, they're going to go back to another one that we've played. We've seen it before, but actually, they haven't seen this at all. W7M, they start their attack. But someone playing aggressive inside of Piano, that's Cyber. A fortress inside of this room, contesting the repels.
Oh. And Cyber continually aggressive on that position. One of his ADSs has been taken down though, and now he's concussed as well. Moves forward aggressively, worried about someone on the south windows, but now he's lost his cover from the west windows. And now he must continue to push. The player on the rappel does a lot of damage, and KZ manages to survive. Cyber on the jump out, can't find the second. W7M, their best chance of winning an attacking round has finally come about.
But just look at Astro, who's starting to get aggressive on this hatch drop. Do they know? Have they droned him out? There's a drone on top red. Someone peeking their way through the hatch, but can they slip through the cracks here?
Well, you know what's scary about this? We have seen so many rounds where W7M have seceded these advantages. And FaZe, they will take every inch you give them and stretch it out to a mile. This 2v4 become a 2v3, and the lead is slipping. W7M cannot let FaZe get away with it anymore.
And just look at what the FaZe players have done now. They've gone aggressive, they dialed it up, but immediately pull back into the site. Just instill the fear, the worry into these W7M players that someone might be going aggressive, but in fact they're not. They're just waiting for that second timing, for the right moment, learning the dark arts of Siege, and that is timing. And W7M starting to press the attack, undecided what they're going for, but hatch being open now, it looks like it could be a 5-place execute.
The longer that W7M wait, the more comfortable FaZe will be when this eventual execute comes through. W7M have to play for these refracts. They have to find these positions, but they don't seem to have a clue where FaZe are. Here comes the spray. Volp's above. He knows the position at Astro, but what has Souls been able to do? Herd's now dropped onto the site. He's in train. Oh, sprays down. Can't quite land the shot. Oh, Souls, how does he win that? 1 HP in the 1v2. GDN and Volps, they have to land this right. The plant is going down with Volps to cover from above. Souls unable to deny this plant. W7M. They have a response. They finally even up the scoreline.
And thank goodness for that. Finding their tempo. Now going to round 7 on the defense. They needed that. 3-3 once again. Same thing as last game. Deja vu even. Well, once again, it's all about the attack. That's what we've seen in this particular matchup against them. Latin America, they play just such unique Siege in that instance. No other region has got something quite like this.
And this is where I start to get a bit concerned, Mandy, for W7M. While they did manage to even that up, FaZe going onto the attack now. It is their favored side on this map. And what's more, FaZe chose Kafe. They knew that they would be playing it. And if there are any counter strategies for the setups that W7M have been playing, FaZe will be ready to deploy them right now. W7M have revealed this VOD of Kafe quite a few times, twice already at the Berlin Major. And so FaZe Clan, I'm looking at them. They should be in the advantage here. But W7M can't let them. They can't afford to lose any more rounds. They've got to march forward and keep their heads up. Keep that momentum going. Herd has got to be yelling some crazy things to get that momentum back in.
This is a very extended roam as well from W7M. They don't want to give FaZe any of this map control too early, roaming all the way in the top floor. Hatch closed off so that they could get themselves back into train if needed. Astro though, the rest of FaZe, immediately putting pressure on that ground floor, putting pressure on the site, giving W7M something to worry about.
Yeah, look at this angle from JV as well. A very long one. An ambitious target. Him to hit outside. Cyber keeping the lesion of JV at play, rather the mute of Volps at play on the white stairs. FaZe not actually going to look to clear the map. They're just going to send it in. Bakery is free.
Well, it doesn't look like W7M have fallen for this just yet. They know they still have the vertical control in their favor. The vertical, it can see the breach, it can see a freezer push, it can see whatever you need it to. And so W7M know as long as they hold on to this, eventually FaZe will have to clear them. Cameraman starts to make his way in through prep. And is there any W7M player that is looking their way?
Oh, that's so well played. The drone to spot the Electroclaw, the Maverick to quickly take it out. Now Cameraman can get a breach on the wall. He's actually going to grab that charge, and he just manages to get it off before the claw will deploy. And that's a beautiful way to breach the wall.
This is just some masterful siege that we're seeing. Everything, the macro game, the rotations, even down to the micro, is insane.
That said, Volps kicks it off with a C4. Astro to push into the site. He's aggressive now inside of prep. Could be inside and just 1 volt. And there he is, live droned ahead as well, trying to hunt down, overwhelm the site. A player doing the dishes, taken down. Astro marches on forward. Can he find another one? JV wins the critical fight. And FaZe try to recompose. W7M will not let go of this site.
But just look at what Volps is doing. He's above with the shotgun, the hatch is open, and although Bullet, he can start to get control into Freezer, it won't be held on for long.
And FaZe need that. Every pick they can find. Soul's putting that diffuser down, but is W7M going to be able to retake it? They have the numbers advantage. They have positions to make it work. Oh, Souls, what an angle. The double! FaZe Clan bringing it back from the 2v4. Souls down and out. Volps, 1 versus 1 on the Bullet. He lands a shot. Can he land another? 1 bullet is all it takes for FaZe to secure an advantage, but W7M put their hopes on the young gunner himself. He sprints up in the hallway. You can't afford to waste any more time. Shotgun out, Bullet lands the shot he needs. FaZe Clan once again take the lead.
And just what a gorgeous attack as well from FaZe. They knew that the site control was being pressured out. Immediately putting the pressure onto Bakery, getting that wall open, enabling the entry. In the meantime, because they'd opened up white so early on in the round, it forced JV and one of his teammates to hold on to that crossfire for the entire round. And even though W7M had the vertical, it didn't matter anyway, because when the retake came through, FaZe were ready with this beautiful crossfire that they had. Souls and Bullet to double down and went out the round for FaZe.
Every single one of these FaZe Clan members steps up when called upon. Souls had to do it all alone in the site. He had to cover himself to plant that diffuser. Bullet had to win out in the clutch. And every single time, you can rely on FaZe to do just that.
Next bomb site now. Reading and Fireplace for W7M. They don't want to repeat. They want to try something new. Do something different. Aided by those keeper barriers. Even the Capcan pick on GDN, he's been given the license for that 1.5x scope to go and frag out, do as he pleases.
And this Reading Fireplace bomb site has been the blessing of many, but also the curse. W7M have so much riding on this. You speak to them and you know that they are not satisfied being second best.
Now this is a really odd defense though from W7M. They're really not holding onto that top floor all so much. They're just enabling themselves with their guns, holding onto individual pieces of pressure. Herds, of course, the first point of contest, but someone's watching his window.
Yeah, doesn't want to repeat that one. Would not be advisable against Bullet. What is the play for FaZe, though? They always like to tease out the idea of pushing direct. They're also going to pressure this roam above. Once again, a strong hold setup in Piano. W7M in precarious positions. Not a lot of protection for Herds, playing aggressive, but JV, he's holding on. Look at this advanced position from Bullet. Astro recomposes for FaZe, but Bullet's in a real pinch. Hasn't been taken out.
And this is very tricky now for FaZe. Bullet is in a very tough spot, caught between a rock and a hard place. Someone just around the corner inside of Pillar, meanwhile getting verticaled out. The pressure from all places of W7M involved. He takes the fight onto Cyber. He can win that one out, but there's still a player inside of Piano.
Yeah, and Herds doesn't want to reveal his position. He doesn't want to push forward aggressively. But FaZe Clan, they're so proficient at playing these watertight attacks. They don't let anything slip between the cracks. KZ, though, gets in the advantage. JV taken down. FaZe Clan have the numbers advantage, and they're marching towards the site once again. KZ has got to come back. Herds in train. But FaZe Clan are planting now in reading. Bullet to cover. He covered to perfection in the round just past. Now it's going to have to be a retake.
Astro's so low on health, trying to find a player outside of Y, but it doesn't matter. Hurts. He comes around for the backstab.
This is where it comes down to how they play the 2v1. W7M have so much talent, but sometimes the pressure gets to him. And the shotgun can't land its shot. It's all on Bullet! Once again! He delivers the clutch that his team needed. How many times can FaZe steal the round from W7M?
It does not matter what you throw at these FaZe players. You can throw a lineup of completely fragging operators on the defense, but it doesn't matter because FaZe are there. The individual prowess of every single one of these players. We speak about this FaZe lineup. Bullet, the most solid entry, consistent, always showing up for this roster.
And just look at this 1v2, the pre-fire.
Bullet, of course, he deserves to stand up for that one. What a huge clutch.
All right, FaZe. You've made me think this might be doable. Map 1, it was close, but FaZe were the clear better team. And here on map 2, it's inches where they are stealing these rounds away. W7M, they've lost that fire burning inside them. They're looking dejected. Where is the W7M that we saw dominate stage 1 and stage 2 of the BR6? Where is the W7M that topped their group here at the major?
W7M, they're being taken down by the old guard currently, actually trying to do this top floor hold instead. Now, I could be wrong here, but I don't think we've seen them do this yet. Architecting this piano hold, castle barricades, keeper barriers, whatever it might be. Looking to try and get creative against this FaZe roster.
Yeah, it's been so difficult for W7M to lock in any defenses. Tried 2 different sites now and lost them both times. And like you said, now trying a third, it feels like they can't find their comfort. They can't find anywhere they're confident and rattled.
The lion scan rings out. Wary that Herds may be looking for a runner. In fact, cameraman just around the corner. He would have been punished for that one.
Yeah, just teasing out the aggression at the moment is Herds, and he rotates far away from that run-out position. FaZe attacking the top floor. It's very repel-centric. And the player to clear here is KZ. He's in this aggressive position, but look at that. Player on the new hatch straight up swings him. His luck to survive. Oh, Astro. Big pick. That's the X-Factor roamer of Herds taken out.
Now FaZe up in the man advantage. Grenade to follow through, taking Volp so low. And Astro, he can collect a second. JV taken down. Now W7M, Casey, he's looking for something aggressive.
There's no 2 ways about it. He has to have an impact here. Finds one. Puts Astro's reign of terror to an end, but he's got to land another one here. Takes a bit of damage to Souls. So claustrophobic, W7M FaZe, pushing them into a corner.
Retaking this position, and Piano, though, shut down by Cyber.
Oh my God.
Another one for FaZe as well, Souls. GDN now in the 1 versus 5. Takes 5 to the window, but it does not matter. Cameraman, he can take him down.
And it's FaZe match point. Kafe has been theirs. They have been relentless on these attacks. Barely broken a sweat. So much time have Astro and Cameraman been on this team. For so long have these guys been gunning to put their names up with the greats of Rainbow Six, like the G2s of old, like the Empires of old. FaZe only ever won a single international tournament. And here in Berlin, they will gun for a second. And it looks like they may well make it to that grand final.
But W7M, they still want to be in the conversation. They will not go down without a fight. Holding on now to this ground floor bomb site of Kitchen. Playing an extended hold into Bakery, as well as opening up any lines of sight onto Red. Now, last time they did this, it actually ended up coming to their demise. The retake coming down Red was too funneled, and in fact, FaZe, they were able to play the post plan perfectly.
Oh, no second chances now. W7M, 3 failed defenses, and they have to win 3 straight to push overtime. Kitchen Cooking will be potentially the side that FaZe attack in what could be their final round of this match. But look at the lineup that they've brought. They're looking for something a bit special.
Big roam clear coming out actually from FaZe. We've got the Jackal in hand. The Fuse as well to aid with that vertical pressure once it's given there. Gridlock locking out those flanks, of course, and FaZe, they look poised to get this map control early, but really W7M, there's not a whole lot of resistance for them. Most of them sitting on the site, simply waiting for the onslaught of FaZe to come through.
We need to see that fire from W7M. It's what they do better than anyone else. They know exactly how to make those timings work, how to make those aggressive plays count. And when they don't have that, they lose their identity. They lose what makes them W7M and what makes them so terrifying to play against.
W7M, when we met them, they told us that they would not stop until they lift the trophy. This brand new roster, almost relegated, might be taken out here by the old guard, showing up for possibly their second major win if they can propel themselves into the grand final.
And FaZe have so much experience. And that's the difference between these two teams. W7M, a relatively new roster. FaZe Clan, one of the oldest rosters in Rainbow Six. And one of the biggest names in esports. And here come the Fuse Pucks.
Just look at this mid-round control that they have. The Fuse Pucks to clear anything in the site, flush out the anchors. We've just had to see JV sprint his way out there, averting the crisis. And there's so much in the hands of FaZe at the moment and a whole minute left to go. W7M players forced off adjacent to the side instead.
W7M cannot afford to let FaZe, okay, Souls, cannot afford to let FaZe get away with a 5v5 execute. Here comes a flash, Volps tanks it and moves forward. He's got to land this shot on the player outside Bakery. But FaZe, they fall. Bullet taken out, JV, oh, he doubles it up. And he goes aggressive upstairs. This is what W7M needed, a resurgence. They will not go down easy. Cyber, he's taken out. It's a flawless round. W7M cannot let this thing die.
And what a beautifully timed defense as well. In the beginning, they'd given everything to FaZe, handed them the map. But W7M knew that they just needed to find the timing when FaZe were looking to convert that mid-round into the late round. And although FaZe were able to push them off the anchor positions in the site itself, JV, he was able to get aggressive onto the players pushing horizontally instead. Knowing that that's the FaZe MO, that they put pressure from one place and then try and pinch from somewhere else. But this time, W7M had the read onto it, took the fights, and now they're still in this game.
And there's so much at stake here for W7M. To see a Brazilian organization win a trophy is something that very rarely happens. Team One did it a year ago in Mexico. And Team Liquid won a Pro League Finals as a Brazilian roster, but not a Brazilian organization. Same thing for FaZe Clan with the major in Sweden. And I know for a fact that that counts to these proud Brazilians of W7M. They want to see that name light up the stage. And they will not go down easy. They know FaZe so well.
Just something that I love about this FaZe roster is just how flexible they are. Astro, Cyber, Souls. Those guys can flex onto just about anything. And look, we can see Cameraman, he's on the Nomad. Astro, he's hopped on the Zero as well. And really all they need was a set of nades from the side of Bullet and really from Cyber as well to try and flush out these anchor positions. And aided by those SAM cams going to site, if W7M play such an anchor-centric, stagnated, static hold once again, they could really fall victim to this combination of intel and grenades. It could be disastrous.
It's early for FaZe. And once again, it's so repel-centric, it's so patient. They don't have to get overzealous. They know how close they are to locking it out. But they are a measure twice, cut once team, and every time they strike, it is with such precision.
Astro now deploying all of his SAM cams inside bar 1. What intel can he find from these SAM cams? Where are the anchors of W7M so far? Holding on to this pixel position, backstore. But look at this from Cyber. Immediately getting to work on this second floor, getting ready for that intel to come through to play those grenades. We can see in Cook 1, it follows through. Oh, GDN takes a lick of damage, and a second one. Perfect from Cyber.
JV goes down. One of the star players on the Young Gunners. It's been the rookies' season, but the rookies are feeling what it's like to go against some of the best in the business. There's Herds, fire up, mate, but Bullet, he's made his nade count as well. FaZe Clan once again in the advantage.
They have expended all their utility, though. The rest has to be on gunfights. And Herds, he can take the first. W7M, even the man count.
There's information for FaZe that one player below. And so Bullet pushes on forward. There's Volps in the freezer. And he does the damage that his team needed. FaZe Clan only have 2 players left. But look at this positioning from Souls. We've seen bigger clutches before. But he's got to wait. He's got to fall back. W7M holding on. But look at this creep up from Astro. Caught out by Volps once again. It's all on Souls. The flank is not there. It's a 1v1. It's all up to Souls to lock in the grand final for FaZe. And now he knows it. Baiting out the plant. Volps, he's found 2 already, and he has to land this last one. Souls is going to lock down this diffuser. No, it's a bait. He shoots the C4, and he must try again, but it's not happening. Close, but no cigar. W7M, one more round until overtime.
W7M are still in it. FaZe, once they had expended that utility, it was all on the gunplay. They had no choice. They had no more hard breach, both of them being used on the hatch. They just had to funnel through those doors, and W7M, the young gunners, so sharp, able to take them down in this mid-round when they had nothing left in their arsenal.
Huge impact in the mid-round from Herds. At FaZe Clan, you can never count them out. Even when Volps took down 2 players, you still can't count out anyone from FaZe. Final chance now to lock it in regulation for FaZe. If overtime strikes, W7M will be very happy to oblige.
Now this is what I like to see from W7M. Herds on the Vigil, KZ on the Azami. This is looking like an exciting hold on the top floor, isn't it? Of course, the bomb site being Reading and Fireplace, but they don't want to give up that vertical pressure straight away. Azami barriers going inside of Piano. The Vigil going to make it very difficult to clear and drone out that top floor for FaZe.
And this is the guts that we needed from W7M. We need them to play their game at their pace. Bring these aggressive operators, make an aggressive hold, because FaZe are so good at these slow and steady, methodical pushes. W7M needs to create chaos.
FaZe shaping around the map now. Cameraman wary of some of these runouts will put down some Nomad charges to protect himself. Volps, of course, looking to get aggressive onto him. Now this is the roam clear part for FaZe. Will they search for Herds? Will they contest him? And how quickly can they do it? Because he could be a real nuisance here on the top floor.
Clearing Piano is the first step, and you see Cyber's drone go out, spot the player in the pixel. It's KZ. He's got a shield to protect him, and Herds to support as well from inside bar. Long lines of sight open. And the key is to enable the fallback here from KZ.
Well, KZ might have fallen back, but Herds certainly hasn't. Still sitting inside the bar, undetected for FaZe.
Oh, when's he going to do it? Just to wait for that jump out. There's no Claymore on that window. He doesn't know it. But Cameraman is watching intently.
And actually, Volps deciding to fall off instead. W7M starting to give up this top floor, but do FaZe know it? They don't seem like they do. Still, drones need to go through, grenades, all this utility being expended.
Oh, no!
And he actually takes out Cameraman with him.
That's not the grenade that they needed. Heard, spotted, taken down. So at least FaZe Clan can even up the numbers. KZ still at large on the top floor. These C4s, they land absolutely nothing. KZ's got to have an impact. There's a player right around the corner, and Cyber wins it. It's now a 4v3. W7M are on their last legs.
There's only 50 seconds for FaZe. They need to convert it still, and the diffuser still outside the building as well. Maybe it has to be on frags. GDN being pressured out, going to the bottom white stairs, but isn't there a player there as well?
Souls finally gets that diffuser, but is it too late? He's got to rappel up. This is going to come down to the wire. If FaZe can't lock it in and kills, Cyber pushing forth, and he once again shines as the brightest star. Volps, he's taken out. It is all on JV. FaZe inching closer to victory. Major champions once before, with their eyes set on it once again, but JV will do his best to make it possible. Brazil is their kingdom, but the world is their oyster. FaZe Clan will look for a second major trophy in Berlin.
FaZe just looking so dominant in the serve. The old guard taking down the young gunners. W7M, it wasn't their time.
Old man still got it. What a phenomenal performance. And we will see them once again, 9 months after raising the trophy in Sweden, competing for yet another here in Berlin.
FaZe, they reign supreme in the lobby for Latam. Closing it out against W7M, and the heartbreak for these young gunners, but we know that they're going to be back. They're going to be back and better, stronger. But for now, FaZe, it's all about them in this grand final.
There's no question who stands at the top of Brazil. And let's hear from the horse's mouth. Let's toss it over back to Ian on the stage.
Wow, there you have it. FaZe Clan booked their spot in our grand final. And tradition. Cameraman is here. Took him a while. He was just putting his shoes and socks back on. Composure. I mean, last time we chatted, we touched on the fact that you are looking to become the two-time major champions, right? You are one step away right now. Are you even thinking about that?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I know you guys are on the EU side, but we are here for a good game, a good match. Hopefully, it's going to be a show.
W7M came into the playoffs, you know, with a lot of momentum. A lot of people were calling them a terrifying team to come up against. You know, you handled them, I'm not going to say easily there at all, but you took down a giant.
Yeah, of course. I think that's the most consistent team in LATAM. They're in a very good shape. They're just this much to be in a major finals and to be like a sixth invitational champion. They're awesome. They play really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And commiserations. An incredible run. Now, you touched on it there, and I think we have to talk about it. This is a very rogue-friendly crowd, right? And they're going to be very loud, very, very loud tomorrow. How much do you think that could potentially cause you problems?
I don't think that would cause any problems to us. We are here to play. We're here to have fun. You're just going to give us more fuel, and that's it.
So you're saying that there is no way, right, that Leon is going to be standing here at the end of the night tomorrow and saying, get in the bin?
No, of course not.
Well, congratulations, and we cannot wait to see you in action tomorrow. Round of applause for FaZe Clan. Now, can I just do something really quick? Do you mind? At my wonderful desk, Milos, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fresh. So we've got a wonderful crowd here, and before we throw down to our analyst desk, who's winning tomorrow now? We know the grand final. I just want to check real quick. Is it FaZe Clan? Just want to double check. Is it Rogue? All right, well, I cannot wait for it. Milos, down to you on the desk.
Thank you very much, Ian. You know who the real winners are? In the words of Mr. Big Tim, Ace of Pyrite, the viewers are always the winners.
Always.
That's the one that we're looking for. A great game set up for us tomorrow in the grand final. FaZe Clan versus the hometown heroes of Rogue. How good is that?
It's very good, and especially because that Rogue that had a poor showing this morning, then they really clutched up, showed up. FaZe didn't have a weak showing at all. They were clutched the entire way through.
FaZe is just that team that they're just getting better and better over the tournament. They've been here before. They've done this before. They've looked scary good throughout the whole tournament, group stages, quarterfinals, semifinals, and then they're going into the final tomorrow, Milos. And I cannot wait. It's going to be a war between these two teams because stylistically they're so similar. There's a lot of similarities between these two teams, and they will go to war.
And that's the tease we're looking for tomorrow. We're going to focus on Kafe Dostoyevsky, map number 2 for FaZe Clan here against their opponents. And we got a highlight, actually, that was requested. So, gentlemen, we're going to pull it up on the screen and have a chat about it. What are you trying to show with such clip?
This was one of 4 clutches that FaZe Clan got this game, which was the very first clutch of the map. And it was basically, it was to do with it was the Oryx play. That's what we wanted to highlight. It was the Oryx play, getting on that 7-second defuse. It was so close, that defuse timer. And FaZe, in these massive moments, that's where they show up. That's where the experience counts, is when, generally, I actually think W7M, performance-wise, controlled that whole game.
Yeah.
Controlled the whole game pretty well and should have come out the winners.
I mean, half the rounds at phase 1 were off 1v1s, 1v2s, etc. 4 of the rounds, yeah. And that's like, W7M won those rounds, then lost them. On your screen right now, the triple kill from Cyber dashes across the round, gets it on, what, 7.12 or something like that? It's extremely close.
So close.
Let's see it here.
It's like a 10th
We're looking
of a
at,
second, isn't it?
0.29.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
That's
So
where
close.
like Park and I, when we cast, always say Oryx is the fastest operator in the game. Is that ever relevant? No, except this instance right here is the one instance where only Oryx can win the round.
Imagine an operator whose entire ability that is, I went to the gym and I'm faster than you. And that's the skill. Yeah. 0.29 is what matters. Usain Bolt, maybe he can follow up on it. Wild, I know maybe we're operating. I saw Corey here, so maybe that's something to look for. It's a hell of a game, isn't it?
I was just reeling off that clutch because that was the one that determined the rest of the pace of the game. And W7M, that is where the inexperience showed a little bit. It wasn't just one clutch that came out. The next round there was a 1v2, and that was the ball was rolling, was on the clutches. And I think if you were looking for a differential between the two teams, we said it was the experience of FaZe and potentially the experience of W7M that was going to cost them, and that's exactly what happened in Kafe.
It was, and also W7M, after those first 2 clutches didn't go their favor, they looked like they were a little bit frustrated in the server as well. They're pushing forward alone, sprinting into gunfights.
Lost that flawless round,
Lost the flawless round, immediately on the round swap as well. It's tough.
Well, let's take that moment then to thank W7M for joining us here in Berlin for the major. They've done incredibly well. This is the new kids on the block, and they were able to make it so far into the tournament. That's pretty darn impressive. Now, our bracket update. As you see, FaZe Clan 2-0ing W7M, closer than a lot would think, actually, or just the score would say. 2-1 Rogue versus Exet gives us our grand final. Rogue versus FaZe Clan, classic. EU versus Brazil. You've been in quite a few of those situations in the past. Pengu, I was going to ask you, how do you think this will go? Just tease us through it.
I mean, I've lost some of them, and I've won some of them. But the thing is, usually when you play against LATAM in Europe or in North America, typically you find the victory. When you go against LATAM, I lost my pen. In LATAM, that's where things go sour. I feel like Rogue has the crowd. I mean, obviously they have the crowd, right? I think that's going to matter so much for them. They're an emotional team. They feed off that energy. And right now for them, it's extremely positive.
Yeah, we said this on day 1, is that Rogue are only going to get better and better with the crowd. They went against the crowd, actually, on quarterfinals day when it was against G2. They overcame that, and now they get the support. And you see them loving it. You see, crying in particular. Every single time he gets up and looks at the crowd, somebody is screaming his name. And that gives them, it's really hard to explain what it does to a team, but it gives them energy. It gives them that extra 1%. I guess you're probably in a better place to explain it. But when you feel that everybody is with you, it just goes so well.
You didn't get to feel that when you were knocked out a couple times, but that's a story for another time. Moving on, though, our schedule for tomorrow, it's actually quite simple. Actually, there it is, our grand final day. We open at 4 p.m., 1600 local time. And then, of course, moving on to the Rainbow Six panel. Ooh. The future of Rainbow Six. What's happening for the next few months, additions, and looking into the future of what this game will bring us. A musical performance. All right.
Love those.
Musical performance in a theater. Yes, Fresh will be coming on the stage and singing in a cloud.
I'll warm the crowd up.
We're all looking forward to it. It's not it, but
that's not happening.
You definitely should be coming in and watching it because it'll be something special. And finally, Rogue versus FaZe Clan. Best of 5. Winner takes it all. Simple as that. I cannot wait for it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, Jesse and Jacob, of course, for having been on the desk. We're wonderful casters today who are now taking photos with the one and only Easy, our observer for our last game, who's
there he is.
A hell of a man. Shout out to our observers that make the games run, the production team. Thank you so much to all of you here in Berlin for being such an awesome crowd. Thank you, Ian, our players, and we will see you tomorrow.